Check, check. 1, 2. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ricky. The channel is America First. F the rest. So I spoke on something yesterday in my live stream, and I felt like I needed to touch on it a little bit more because I don't think I gave it enough. I gave it enough time, and I don't think that the magnitude of what it is that I'm going to talk about will truly be understood for years to come. I wrote this out because I really didn't want to go off the top of the dome. I wanted to make sure that I got all of my thoughts correctly. And I think I did a fairly good job explaining myself and explaining my position, and not just my position, but many people's positions that supported Donald Trump in the 2024 campaign and this election. And I think I do a pretty good job summarizing how we feel and why the reckoning that is going to happen is going to happen. So let me get started. I'm going to try to keep this video short. I spoke on this briefly yesterday, but I don't think I emphasized it enough. Trump and his administration has taken one of the largest groundswells of voter support in history and shattered it into a million pieces. The MAGA movement, as we know it, is dead. And the only ones to blame for that are Donald Trump and the administration themselves. And there's still people in the MAGA cult that can't understand why people like me, who was a 3-time Trump supporter, has turned their back on the administration and this president. And the answer to that is fairly simple. This president and this administration has turned its back on the base and the American people. They blatantly lie to us. They continue to not follow through on the things that were promised during the 2024 campaign. They continue to gaslight us on a daily basis as if we are unable to see reality with our own eyes. The president, who ran on transparency and accountability, has shown over and over again that neither of these things will ever happen. The president, who ran on ending the war in Ukraine while being president-elect, and the president who vowed to bring an end to the genocide in Gaza just passed a $900 billion funding bill to continue funding both of these conflicts. The president who is sitting in office right now, thanks to the endless hours that Charlie Kirk poured into his campaign to ensure that the young voters turned out in mass for Donald Trump to get elected, was killed in front of the entire world. And whether it be this administration that is responsible for what happened to him on that day, or whether they are complicit in covering up what really happened on that day, the one thing that is blatantly clear to anyone that has removed themselves from the MAGA cult is that one way or another, we are being lied to about what happened on that day. And that one way or another, this administration is clearly involved. The administration that called the Epstein files a Democrat hoax and told their base that they don't want the support of people that still care about the Epstein files are getting exactly what they asked for. You have undoubtedly lost our support, President Trump. President Trump did not release the Epstein files, the Einstein files, because he wanted to. He released these files because for once, both sides of the aisle agreed on something so much that when the bill was passed, there were enough signatures for the president to not veto the bill. And to translate that into plain English for people that don't understand what that means, Trump didn't give us the files because he wanted to. Trump gave us the files because he had to. He was forced by Congress, by a supermajority that prevented him from vetoing the bill. He was forced to release those files. And thanks to the work of people like Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna, who seem to be some of the only people in Congress that not only have human decency, but have a soul. It's thanks to these people that we have these files. And now, because of this, Donald Trump has vowed to primary Thomas Massie And if you don't know what that means, it means they are going to fund another Republican candidate to run in Thomas Massey's district against him to try and get another Republican in office rather than Thomas Massey. And for anybody believing whatever they're seeing on the mainstream media, Thomas Massey is somebody that didn't want to waste the taxpayers' dollars so much that he lived in his RV in a congressional parking lot. That is the type of man that Thomas Massey is. That is the type of man that Donald Trump is vowing to primary. And that is the type of man that AIPAC has made enemy number one. And the fact is that the files that were released, you should got anybody who didn't believe it should go find their favorite conspiracy theorists, hug them, and apologize. Because the stuff that is contained in these files is worse than anybody could have ever imagined. And something else that these files prove, without a shadow of a doubt, is that it is no longer a battle of red versus blue, Democrats versus Republicans, or liberals or conservatives. This is a battle between the average American versus the elite class, a battle between the average man and the entire system, and plainly a battle between good versus evil. Some people are yet to wake up to this. And that could be for a couple reasons. Some people are struggling so much to put food on a table and a roof over their head that they don't have time to even think about this kind of stuff. Some people are so entrenched in the red blue narrative that both sides are using these files as talking points against the other, when it's all of them that are in the files. So both sides are going to have talking points when both sides are in the files. And what does that mean to us? The average American? It means that they're all in the files. And they are all implicit or complicit. And the elite class, the political class, the donor class has free reign to do whatever they want. because of their positions of status and wealth. What does it say about a country that lets people like this go free? What does it say about where our moral compass is headed? Do we just pretend like this is a another conspiracy theory and sweep it under the rug? Because we can't. Good people will not allow that to happen. And there still are some good people out there. And there still are people fighting for truth. And the only thing that will fix this situation right now, I don't even think it can be fixed, but the only thing that will make this situation better is for the truth to come out. All of it. Unredacted. Regardless of what those files may say. And we need to hold those people accountable. If we need to do public executions for the people that took advantage of girls as young as 9 years old, then that's what we have to do. But we cannot let these people go. And we cannot let these people walk scot free. The only way for Trump to even think about saving his legacy is releasing all the files unredacted. Holding the people the monsters responsible for these crimes accountable. Patel, Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi. All need to be fired. All need to be held in contempt of Congress because they all blatantly lied to Congress. We know because we have the files now. And they all need to go to jail. But President Trump won't do this. Because President Trump sold this out to his donors a long, long time ago. And any country that lets people like this walk free because of their wealth and because of their status, to many of us, is no longer a legitimate institution. The founding fathers fought for their independence from Britain over much less. And unfortunately, many of us believe that this is a situation that we can no longer vote ourselves out of because the enemy is entrenched within both political parties and sits on both sides of the aisle. The Democrats and the Republicans are two wings of the same bird. They only care about how to enrich themselves, and they care nothing about the betterment of the American people. The downfall of Trump and the loss of the MAGA coalition will be studied for decades and taught to our grandchildren. Because a man that could have been hailed as one of the greats amongst names like Kennedy and Lincoln will now be remembered as one of the biggest failures in our nation's history, amongst names like Nixon, Cheney, and Bush. America first means putting the American people first. It means fixing basic living conditions here at home. It means fixing the affordability crisis, which I can assure you is not a Democrat hoax. Because when I'm working 40 hours and I'm struggling to pay my bills and I don't live beyond my means, it's a problem. The cost of healthcare is the number one reason that people go bankrupt in this country. People are concerned about how to keep food on the table for themselves. Imagine if they had a family and they're raising 3 kids. I can't even fathom the struggle that some people are going through right now. The cost of rent is through the roof. The average age of a first-time home buyer is 40 years old. And the solution that was thrown at us was 50-year mortgages. So let's pay $1.5 million on a house that was valued at $600,000 because that solves the problem. Buying a home was once considered the American dream. And the American dream is turning into the American nightmare right before our eyes. And it seems like no one in elected office, except a few very, very resilient and special people, care about the average American. And until we truly get behind an American first or America first coalition of candidates that have some real backing and truly care about fixing the lives of the people here at home that are struggling, the people that were promised manufacturing jobs to come back, the farmers that are struggling because of tariffs, the small business owners that are shutting down because they can't afford to stay open because of tariffs and healthcare, the couples that aren't having kids because they can't afford to have babies. They can't afford to buy a home. They can't afford childcare. They can't afford health care. Until we fix these problems, we shouldn't be sending a fucking dollar to anybody else. That money needs to be staying home and addressing the issues here. We need to get these corrupt politicians out of office. We need to get average Americans, good people, to run for office. We need to demand term limits. Being a career politician should not be a job. And I don't think the founding fathers ever intended on it to be a job. When the average salary of a congressman is $170,000 a year, and the majority of them are multimillionaires, something is very wrong. And the incentives are there for them to stay in office to enrich themselves, not help the American people. So I will continue to use my voice and push for an American First coalition, a coalition of people that want to see the best for America and want to put the needs of Americans before the needs of other countries. There's no reason for us to be sending $900 billion to our greatest ally and Ukraine when our greatest ally has free healthcare and free education. It's our tax dollars that are paying for that. And it's also our tax dollars that are funding the genocide that's happening over there. Our country is falling apart. And we need to worry about saving us before saving other people. Guys, my name is Ricky. The name of the channel is America First FTR. I hope you like my video. I hope you like it. I hope you share. I hope you subscribe. Thank you to the people that have. I appreciate you. I appreciate the support. I'm going to work on growing this channel, and I'm going to work on getting this message out there, because this message needs to get out there. Charlie Kirk is what woke me up. The events surrounding that man's death is what truly woke me up and snapped me out of it. And if it can happen to me, it could happen to you. And it could happen to anybody. The more people put down their pitchforks to go after the other side and realize that the true enemy is not your fellow neighbor, we're not going to change anything. And it's getting close to a point to where we're not going to be able to vote our way out of this. And if we had hit that point, then what do we do? It's just something for you guys to think about. It's been on my mind a lot. And it weighs on me a lot. Because the answer to that question is a very uncomfortable question. It's what do we do if we can't vote our way out of this situation? What is the answer then? I don't know. And I don't want to find out. But if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. To get our country back and get our country moving in the right direction and get some people in office that truly care about the American people and putting our needs first and helping us as a society. If that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. I hope it doesn't get to that point. Nobody wants it to get to that point. Nobody. I don't think people understand what it would be like if it got to that point here in this country. Stop letting the news, the media, and the politicians divide us. Take a look around at what's really going on. Try to snap out of the us versus them, red versus blue narrative. Because once you're able to break free from that matrix and look with a 30,000-foot view, you'll be able to see things a lot differently. And you'll see that it's all of them. And we're running out of time to do something. The time to act is now. The time to get people in offices now. Or we may not have another chance to do it. Guys, thank you again. I will be live 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday at 3 o'clock. I hope you guys tune in. Again, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you think. It helps the algorithm. I'm really trying to put my heart and soul into this channel. Help me make it grow. Help me help you. Help me help America. And if you're one of the people that feels like I do, reach out to me. reach out to me. You can reach out to me on Twitter. You can reach out to me on Facebook. You can contact me on, drop a comment on YouTube. Know that you're not alone. You're not alone. There's other people that see it. And there's other people that see where we're heading. And there's other people that know how this ends. Have a good night, and thank you for watching. If you stuck around to the end, I greatly appreciate you, because I've been going for 35 minutes and I meant to make this a 15-minute video, but obviously I cannot keep anything short on this channel. So thanks again, guys, and have a good night.